Well, howdy there, baseball fans. This is your host, ID Jester. Got a special episode for you here. We're going to actually be starting a new series where we're going to be rating and looking at different sports simulation games. And since the fine folks over at Out of the Park have been kind enough to give me a review copy of Out of the Park Baseball 17, I'm going to start off the series with a look at Out of the Park Baseball 17. So we're going to be looking at several key categories and talking about each one of those and then give a final output and decisions about what this game can do for you as a baseball simulation program. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is how much content comes with the package. So when you buy the game, how much are you getting? Are you getting everything? Are you getting some of it? What is included? What isn't included? Are you going to have to buy extra things? Excuse me. Or is everything included? Next thing we're going to be looking at is the actual game engine. How is the baseball simulation or the sports engine involved in what you're doing? How does it actually play out? Do you know? Do you have important decisions to make, or is the game engine basically just running the program for you? Next thing we're going to look at is whether or not there is a franchise manager installed with the program. Is there any way to run the team, hire scouts, look at players on other teams, make trades? Is there part of the front office involved in the game or not? To go along with that, to go along with that is the manager. Is there a manager part of it? How involved as a manager of a ball club are you? Are you making important decisions in the game? Or is the game engine just running it for you and you don't have much say? And lastly, we have the graphics. So obviously a sports simulation program, graphics aren't the end all, the be all, but we're going to look at the graphics. How does it look? How does it play out? What's included with it? And then lastly, we're going to give it an overall grade and decide how well of a program is it. And so for the Out of the Park Baseball 17, what we're going to be doing is rating each one of these categories. We're going to be looking at it, and our grading system is going to be a foul ball, which means it's just terrible. Doesn't do that part of the game very well. We're going to give it a first base if it's bad but manageable. We're going to give it a double if it's good. We're going to give it a triple if it's great. And we're going to give it a home run if it just really shines inside the program and really stands out against the competition. So that's kind of a breakdown of what we're doing here for a review of Out of the Park Baseball 17. So as we get into it here, let's look at the first thing here, which is the content. So as you can see here, we're looking at the Out of the Park Baseball 17. And when we talk about content, we are talking about a huge amount of content inside of Out of the Park Baseball 17. Everything is included in the game. As you can see here, you can run any historical game between 1871 and 2015. You can actually pit two teams against one another from different eras. You can load up and play starting with the 2016 season, any one of those teams, and play along as it goes. So big plus for Out of the Park Baseball 17 and its content, because you don't have to actually wait another year for the statistics for the actual current season to come out. It's updated and constantly ready to go for you at that point. Of course, another great thing when we're talking about setting up historical games, historical seasons, historical matchups is you can actually thank the gods. Out of the Park Baseball 17 actually uses historical dates for the game. So if you wanted to play a game between the Giants and Dodgers from Wednesday, May 12th, 1962, you can actually go into the program and find that date and play it. The other thing is you can actually use the lineups from that day inside the program. So kudos for that. I'm just going to go ahead and load this up as we finish up talking about the content so we can look at some more stuff. So there's no other purchase other than the main purchase of Out of the Park Baseball 17. You don't have to worry about buying any extra season packages or anything else. When we're talking about content, and not only are we talking about all the seasons being included, all of the matchups that you can do, we're also talking about, let's see if I can actually find it here now for you. I think if we go to the front office, you can see all the detailed information here. But what I'm looking for is the actual um, scouting here. You got different scouts that you can set up. But what I'm looking for is, um, let me see, I'll be right back. Let me find it first. All right, it's right where I thought it was. It just took me a second to find it. So again, when we're talking about content of the game, all the seasons are included. But not only can you take over a Major League Baseball team, you can actually go in and become a manager from AAA, AA, all kinds of different. You can see here, just for the Cardinals here, we have the AAA team, the Memphis Redbirds. We have the AA team, which is the Springfield Cardinals. We have the Palm Beach Cardinals. We have the Peoria Chiefs. We got the State College Spikes. We got Johnson City Cardinals. We got the St. Louis GCL Cardinals and also the DCL Cardinals. So you can manage and see your players demote and promote them from different leagues. Monitor what they're doing. You can actually get in and check out the scores, see what kind of, what their ERA is, what their batting averages are. Just total amount of content included in this game. So I'm going to give for content Out of the Park Baseball 17 a home run. Absolutely wonderful. You could spend many, many hours delving into the finer details. We talk about the game engine. We're actually talking about looking at, let's go to let's go to the Major League and go to scores here. So talking about the game engine, we're talking about actually playing the game and seeing what happens. I will say that the Out of the Park Baseball 17 does a great job of recapping and letting you look at every single game. You can click on the statistics of each of the games, the Dodgers and the Rockies here. You can find out what happened. You can look at each of the different players here, see what they did during the game. It gives you a nice breakdown. So that part of the game engine is really, really good. The part that is kind of disappointing is the whole game engine part of the simulation is hidden from you. You have, no baseball cards that show you, okay, this player, if it rolls an 86, it's going to get a home run. If he rolls a 22, he's going to get a strikeout. All that's hidden from you and kind of behind the scenes, unlike some of the other sports simulations that put that right in front of you and let you see it. That part of the program, the actual game engine, is kind of hidden behind and built into the player's stats and, all of that information. So you're not going to actually see any kind of, dice rolling or any kind of outcomes from an actual game engine that's all built in and rolled behind the scenes. And all you see is the final outcome, whether it was a double hit to center field, or it was a strikeout, or it was a 4-3 put out, or if it was an error on the shortstop. All that's just rolled and calculated behind the scenes, and you have no control over deciding, is this, should I pinch hit for this guy because he strikes out a lot? I mean, you can look at the actual statistics and try to figure it out, but that makes it very statistics driven, which might be a good thing for some players out there. But for those of us that enjoy actually seeing the game cards from the simulation or having some kind of information where we have a choice of what to do, and we have some kind of input so we know that we're making a decision and we're making some kind of choice. And even, for example, when, if you get a double and then it might pop up a message and say, do you want to continue having the runner go from second to third base? He has a base running of average, and it's hit to the center fieldman who has a good arm. That's all it tells you. It doesn't give you like, okay, you have like a 30% chance of that. You got to kind of just figure it out and assume for yourself what all of that means. Does that mean since I have a good base running and he has an average arm, does that mean I have a 50% chance of making it? If I had a great base runner and he had a poor arm, would that give me an 80% chance? You have no idea. Again, that's all built in behind the scenes, and they really keep that hidden. So for the game engine part of it, because it does a good job of actually letting you see the information and delve into really looking in, if the next game the Cardinals are going to play is against the Dodgers, I can look at the game, the previous 3 games they had, find out who's hot, who's not. But again, that stuff should be built into the game engine as you come up. It could tell you, this player, is hit safely in 3 previous games, or he's belted 2 home runs in the last 4 games, or something like that. There is ways to find it inside the game, but it's a little bit more work for you. And so because of that, I'm going to give the game engine a double, because it's actually pretty good game engine, and with the fact that you can delve into it, it's that is its advantage. But unfortunately, like I said, everything's kind of hidden behind the scenes. So just a double, just okay, just good for the game engine part of it. The next section is the franchise. Is franchise included in this game? And yes, it is included in this game, absolutely, as we've already seen, because I was clicking around here. There's actually, the manager's office and all of that. But if we get into it, we can actually go to the front office and we can see there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. Finances, how much finances? And look at this page of statistics. I mean, when we talked about content earlier, I didn't get into the specifics, but you can just see that you can delve into this game and really get into finding out all of the fine details part of it, from the front office manager down to the manager part of it. Again, finances, season ticket prices, attendance charts, revenue, expenses, and that's just one page of it. We have the owner part of it. We have the accounting part of it. So if you want to be an accountant part of and really look at how many players are making over 5 million? Are they really earning their keep? Are they worth trading? Salaries, here's the salaries. Of course, they don't use the specific salaries for every player, 100% accuracy, and it even tells you that when the game starts, that the salaries are not exactly as they are in real life, which is good, because we don't need to know that information, because most people will just go off on that. But anyways, here's your upcoming players. How much are they making? How much are they doing? Let's look at our scouting here. Look at our player development. We can set up, our AAA or AA. Find out, okay, for center field, Charlie Tilson here is a AAA player. For first base, Jordan Hicks is only an R player. All that kind of information. You can look at all the different schedules and info and stuff. So I would say one of Out of the Park Baseball 17's strongest parts is actually the front office manager part of it. The fact that simulating the games and running seasons is just part of it, and really only about a third of it. The other 2/3 of the game is the actual front office part of it, manipulating your lineups through transactions, manipulating your lineup through upgrades and sending players down. keeping track, moving players around. For that part of it, I'm going to give the Out of the Park Baseball 17 another home run on the franchise part of it. Next part we're going to look at is the manager part. So actually managing a game. If we look at, let's go to the next game here. And sure, play, sure. Let's auto play until the next day here. All right, we got another player coming off the DL. He's in the Palm Beach Cardinals. So you can get involved with that, or you can just have your AI set it up. Depending on, again, if you want. All right, so we'll look at this game versus Cincinnati here coming up for the Cardinals. Just to kind of let you know. You can set your lineups and lots of different choices for you as kind of the manager part of it. You could set your own strategies. So you can see here our manager for this is just R Stone, but we could use the computer AI if we wanted to use offensive strategies for base running, pitching strategy, defensive strategy, substitutions. You can't control your opponent, obviously, unless you are the commissioner of the baseball, which I haven't even mentioned yet. You can become the commissioner of baseball, and if you do that, you have full control over everything, every team, every player, everything in the game. So you could take control of one of the teams and send their best player. You can send Mike Trout over to the Cardinals, and they have, nobody has control over that other than you. So if you were the commissioner of baseball, you can come in and adjust all Cincinnati's information as well going into this game. But we're looking at just the manager part. Again, you can decide, if there's a warm-up required or no warm-up. So in this case, you don't have to get your players up and get them ready in time if you want to just simulate that in the background. There's a few different kinds of views. We're going to talk about that when we look at graphics. And then display on the field, you can have the player photos or just the info. Again, that's kind of more of a graphic thing we'll look at here in a minute. But when you actually get into the game, again, manager-wise, you can actually decide which players are going to go in which position. We can just start the game up here and go into St. Louis here. We can adjust our lineups. It'll show us who's tired, who's not, who's pitching. If I don't want Martinez pitching today, I can go in there and switch that out. Let's just look at all pitchers here, find out, all right, maybe I want Michael Walker to pitch today. So I could just switch these players out, hopefully. Come on. Return to the game here. There we go. Carlos Martinez is there now. Ooh, he's on fire. Good for him. When we actually get in the game again, we can manipulate our lineup. We can say, you know what, I want Molina to bat fifth, and then I want Molina to bat fifth here. Come on, don't be acting up on me now. Peralta. All right, well, anyways, you can adjust your lineup and go back in and start her up. There we go. And then you actually can manage the game. You got all your statistics over here, your lineups and everything. The only options I don't really see is occasionally you'll have an option that's not there, and I'm trying to remember which one it is. And occasionally you'll tell the guy to steal second base. Say we got a guy in first base. We'll click on steal, and he won't go. And I'm assuming it's because there's a roll happening behind the scenes, and the runner didn't get a jump or anything. But it doesn't actually tell you that. But all the managerial parts are there where you can adjust your lineups. You can take pitches. You can bunt for hits. You can decide whether to play pitch by pitch mode, or you can go into one pitch simulates a whole at bat. So depending on if you want to play it fast or play it slow, you can do that. So for managerial parts, I'm going to give the game a triple there. Very good. Not quite perfect. as I mentioned, there's a few options I think they're missing, and I just can't remember which one they're called. And occasionally, again, you're trying to do steals or bunts or whatever, and sometimes your players won't actually do it. So maybe they miss. Maybe that's simulating them missing the sign or something. Who knows? But all that stuff is hidden behind in the game engine. But uh, very good for the managerial part. Which brings us to the graphics. So if you've been watching and playing along and watching some of my videos, there are several different views that you can go to. The broadcast view, which is very functional. The only problem with this one really is when the ball is hit, none of the players move, they don't do anything. It's kind of, I don't know, generic, I guess that's the best way to put it. It's just not a lot of interaction between the players. If he gets a double, your batter just, he just pops over here to second base. That's all that happens. You might see where the ball goes, but none of the players actually move around or anything. Then you go to the webcast view, which, again, is kind of just a good way to simulate if you don't actually want to watch the game, but you want to just see what happens, where the ball goes or whatever. Again, you're not going to watch the players moving around the field or doing anything. You're just going to see the results, and then if Colt Wong gets a triple, they'll just see him pop over here. Not the best option. The only option there is to actually watch what's going on is go into the 3D view. And so I have to give Out of the Park 17 a kudos for actually including this in. And it's been a few years in the making, and they finally got it into the game. But unfortunately, it's kind of just generic because what happens is when you hit swing away, which we will do here once, you will see everything disappear, and then the information will come down, and then you'll actually have the pitch here. You'll actually see the ball, and you'll see everything, and there it goes. You'll see players moving and such. But of course, you don't see anything else on the screen like statistics. You don't see the players' names. If you're playing a game from 1987 and it's hit to the center fieldman, the Milwaukee Brewers center fieldman from 1987, it's like, yeah, I have no idea who that is. So you got to kind of look at your lineup over here to figure out who it is. So it would be nice to include names and just statistics or something like that out here. And the other thing with the graphic is occasionally there will be a glitch where, like, it's hit over to, say right field, and you'll see the left fieldman run all the way across and catch it. Or a ball is hit to, which happened in the last replay, ball's hit into the gap and hits the wall and actually bounces all the way back off the wall, and it came back to all the way to here. And none of the runners actually went after it. It just sat there, and our hitter went all the way to second. So they're simulating what happens in the game engine behind the scenes, but occasionally it doesn't quite correspond to what's going on the screen. Occasionally you'll have a runner that, you'll see the throw come home and the runner comes in and the ball is already there, so you're going to think he's out, and the guy will just come in and score anyway. So good effort for the first 3D view, and hopefully they'll just keep working on this and make it better and better. So again, I'm just going to give this a double, which is an okay grade. It's average. I enjoy it. I know other players really don't like it, but I do like this. I like the feel. I like to see what's going on. When somebody hits a double, is it, because it's over their head, or is it because it's hit to the gap? Stuff like that. So good first effort for the 3D view and the graphics, but not quite yet where it needs to be. So let's go. Again, the other views are more for your regular managers that want to just see the statistics. You can see here Joey Vano, he's got an 81. He's a Gold Glover. We can mouse over him and see all of his real life statistics. And of course this little animation, which we haven't really talked about, which is a little strange again when we're talking about graphics. It's a little strange that they use this little, what's it called, face generation program to simulate each player's look. And the reason it's really strange is with Out of the Park Baseball 17, Out of the Park Baseball actually has a Major League Baseball license now. So they can use all of the graphics and everything that comes with the, having a license with Major League. Now maybe they don't have a license with the players, and that's why they're using this face gen program, and maybe that's why they don't have actual baseball player photos in here. But sometimes you can get some really wanky looking characters, um, especially like Matt Adams on the Cardinals has got a really fat, puffy, short face, and it doesn't really look anything like him. In fact, if you look at most of these, they don't really look like what the players look like, unfortunately. But that's part of the graphics part again. So again, that's why first year doing this, I believe with the face gen, it might be the second year, but ends up being just a double, just okay. Hopefully they'll keep working on it. If they can get an exact replication with the face gen program that are very close, that would be awesome. But they're still working on that. Obviously, a something that they have to work on to kind of complete the program, I guess, to make it that much better if you're going to simulate it. Webcast view again, if you're a manager and you want to just kind of quickly see with the ballpark what everything happens, you can watch it from this view. Again, it's okay. It's nothing great to write home about, and that's why graphically we're giving it a double. So all in all, how do I feel about Out of the Park Baseball 17? Well, the things that it does really, really well, it does exceptionally well. The things that, let's see, can I head out of this now? Let's see, is there a way? Actually, let's go back to the broadcast and let's see, save and leave. There we go. All right. So the things that Out of the Park Baseball 17 does really, really well, those things that had a really high grade, it does exceptionally well. The content that's included in this game, as I mentioned, is over the top good. It's just incredibly good. The franchise part of this is exceptionally well done. If you want to run a major league team and don't really care about simulating games and actually getting in and watching balls and strikes, and you want to do the managerial part of it, maybe simulate the first 2 weeks of the season, check out all your players, see how they're doing, find out how your AAA teams are doing and your AA teams and your single A teams and the teams over in Japan and the teams in Cuba, and you want to find out who the hot prospects coming up. You can do that to your heart's content forever and ever in this game. So the things it does really, really well, it does exceptionally well. The things that it does kind of average, which are the graphics part of it, the managerial part of it, they are still, kind of a work in progress. They keep getting better and they keep getting better, but they're not quite where the franchise part of it is. Now, maybe that's because a lot of players are not like me and they don't like to actually go into the games and simulate and play the games, and maybe they're kind of focusing in on just front office people or owners of teams, and maybe that's what this game is more fine-tuned to, and it definitely shows. If you are a manager, everything is still there. You can bypass all the front office stuff and just let your staff take care of that. And you can manage the season. You can manage your players. You can manage, the on-field action. It still does a pretty good job of that. But it's just not as fine-tuned as the front office stuff. And of course, with the graphics part of that, still a little bit to go on getting that 100% with the face gen and the simulation of the 3D ball field. Now, I'd rather almost have a 2D. I'd almost rather have the 2D view where the players move around on the screen. I do like the 3D view, and I hope they continue working on that because I think that is when they get that working and keep upgrading it after a few more years, I think that's going to be a very good thing to have. And again, if they keep working on the face gen and they keep getting that fine tuned, maybe they can get the managerial parts of it up to be as good as the franchise part of it and the content part of it. So overall, I'm going to rate Out of the Park Baseball 17. I'm going to rate it a home run because the things it does well, it does really, 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 really well. And the parts that it doesn't do well, it still does them really, really good. Um, the parts that aren't quite finished, the parts that aren't quite as exceptional as the franchise and the content and the managerial parts. Those other parts don't drag it down very far because they're still serviceable. They still can work with them. You can still have enjoyment. You can still have a lot of fun being the manager. You can still, if you can overlook the 3D graphics, which I do, I don't mind them. I wish there was just more information on the screen, players' names and ratings, um, and fine tune the players so that they actually go where they're supposed to go. The ball's supposed to go where it's supposed to go. I mean, those parts of it don't drag it down very far because they're still good. They're still rather good. There's no bad parts of this game whatsoever. And the parts that are really good really shine, and the parts that are not good are the parts that aren't exceptional don't drag it down very much. So there's still Out of the Park Baseball 17 is still a home run. It's been one of the best baseball simulation games on the market for a long, long time. It's continuing its run with an exceptional program each year. And hopefully it just keeps getting better and better and better. And the fact that you have 100% content, you don't have to purchase anything else. If you're looking for a baseball simulation program, is just outstanding. No extra seasons to purchase. To have everything from 1871 all the way up to the 2016 season, and anything in between that you won't, to your little heart's content, can get into and play and enjoy. So just a home run all the way around. I hope it continues working on the parts that aren't as finished as the rest of it, but these parts that are done really, really well will certainly shine for you. So I definitely enjoyed playing it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and that's my review of Out of the Park Baseball 17. Definitely a home run for a baseball simulation. A few things they need to work on to make it even that much better, but definitely still a home run. Well, thanks for watching my review. Let me know what your thoughts and comments are in the comments section below, and we'll see you in the next review of our next sports simulation. Thanks for watching. See you later.